REI recently updated their popular Ruckpack, an inexpensive, lightweight, easy to carry bag with a large main compartment that works great for minimalist travel. They've made quite a few updates on this pack since the last release, and since this bag is 30% off over the weekend, I wanted to show you this bag because I think this is really a bargain for this pack. The most recent review I did on this older bag was the Ruckpack 28 when I reviewed it back in 2022. So in this video, I'll do a rundown on the changes and updates since the last version. The new bag is called the Ruckpack 30 compared to the previous 28. We'll also test the capacities and see how that change works out. The Ruckpack is sort of a hybrid bag. It's a great option for people looking for something that works great as a lightweight hiking backpack, but also has some nice features like a padded laptop sleeve that make it work great for travel as well. This bag currently comes in two volume options. There's a larger 40 liter, and then this is the smallest 30 liter Ruckpack that I have here. And in one of the best updates to this bag so far, they've made it available in two harness size options. This is the extra small to extra large, 28 to 46 inch hip widths. They also make it in a larger version with larger straps, larger hip for 42 to 58 inch hips. The listed dimensions are fairly accurate, except maybe the width. 19.5 inch length is pretty close. 8.5 to 9 inch depth is also pretty close. And these two bags' length and depth is about the same between the previous 28 and the current 30. However, the width dimension, it's kind of hard to see how they came out with 10.5. That's going to be about here. So I don't think I have this bag too overstuffed, and I have it at about 12 inches wide. The biggest change in size seems to be in this depth here. This is the older version, a little bit lower, while the update is just an inch or two deeper. To me, that seems like it's going to translate to a larger than just a 2 liter difference in the volume on these packs, but I'll fill the bags with packing peanuts and test what their actual capacity is. I'll start out with the 28 since it's the smaller of the two bags. This is the 28 liter fully packed main compartment. Also packed this top pocket because it has a separate volume. And to be fair to the true volume, I took out the rain cover since this technically counts as an item. So actually surprisingly close to the 28 liter mark, pretty much spot on. This is the updated 30 liter pack. I put that 28 liters from this old bag into here so you can see how it stacks up. Actually, it's surprisingly close. It's not quite full, but almost full. There's a little small gap here in the top that just eyeballing it, I'd say it's probably 2 or 3 liters. So I say it's safe to give them the benefit of the doubt and say this is pretty much a 30 liter pack. I thought that change in depths between these packs would equate to a little bit more than a 2 liter difference, but I think because they added some extra padding here behind the main compartment for the laptop sleeve on the 30 liter update, kind of eats in a little bit of capacity and evens out the change in the depths. As far as updates on the features of the Ruckpack go, I'd say this is a fairly minor update. There's some changes on the front aesthetic and the fabric, has larger side water bottle pockets, change to the attachment strap on the hip belt, but by and large, the largest update is an extra padded sleeve and a Velcro strap on the laptop compartment, making it a lot more functional. The materials and hardware updates are mainly aesthetic here. Changed out this ripstop fabric on the front, but it's pretty much the same kind of mid-weight polyester fabric. I like this because it's really lightweight. This is a pretty lightweight pack for this size, but it's a little bit more durable than what you find in a lot of ultralight packs, which I think is what makes this work well for travel. There's some slight changes on this daisy chain design. The old model loops were hidden behind this fabric flap. They're quite a bit thicker, and I think because of this, they're a little less likely to just randomly catch on things. But these things are so thin and they're really close to the pack, I don't really see that being a major issue. One improvement I'd say if you want to use this as a hiking backpack, both bags have these kind of hidden loops tucked down here. These are nice because they tuck away if you don't want to use them. But the new version added this little kind of bungee strap up here. You always could have just added one on the old version on these daisy chains if you want, but this is a nice feature if you want to use this for adding hiking poles strapped to the outside of the pack. The top brain pockets are identical, basically the volume on this top part of the bag above this zipper. But one new update that I don't remember them having before, they now sell a 3 liter Ruckpack waist pack that's designed to fit perfectly in the top of this main compartment. I think it's a pretty cool feature, especially if you're using this for travel. Just pop that in and out when you're getting on and off an airplane, or if you want to use this as a light day pack. These side water bottle pockets are the exact same design fabric with a little bit of stretch here. But you remember the updated version, this red one here, is a little bit deeper. So this pocket is also going to be a little bit wider. And to show you it's stretchy, so it's going to hold these skinnier bottles in there fairly well. Not super tall, so you don't want to turn that bag upside down. But this thing is also wide enough to fit one of these fatter 1 liter Nalgene style bottles. They made some minor updates to these side pockets. On the left side, there's a pocket that accesses the main compartment. Really doesn't do anything other than that. It's kind of curved up here, where in the update, it's longer and flatter. So I guess this gives you better access to the main compartment, but really not much of a functional difference here. But one change that I don't like, because this is a side access into the main compartment, nice to be able to lock this zipper so someone can't just sneak in there and grab something. Old version, they had a little loop here so you could lock this on, give a little bit more security. Well, the update, single zipper, can't lock it to itself, and they got rid of that fabric security lock loop. Other side of the bag still has that same curved pocket here. The new update looks basically identical. They got rid of a couple little stretchy sleeves here for holding pens and pencils, and still has that same extra pocket with the included rain cover in here if you want to use it. So now let's have a look at the differences on the interior design. Basic, same top opening, zipper here, same style, same opening, same mesh zipper pocket here on the lid side. The biggest change back here is the laptop protection. The old version was really just a thin sleeve with no padding. We called it a laptop sleeve, but worked better for holding a water bladder. Could put a laptop in there, but it wasn't very secure and wasn't padded on this side. The updated version has what looks a lot more like an actual laptop sleeve with a padded sleeve here on the back side and a little Velcro flap to keep it secure from shifting around, and actually a decent false bottom to protect the bottom of your laptop. But because this is a hybrid bag, still works great for a water bladder. Just tuck that in, attach your water bladder to this little fabric loop, and then there's a little pocket hole running out the top for the hose. One thing I think they could have done to make this a little bit more functional, kind of more of a traditional laptop sleeve, is in the side zipper, instead of having this just be open to the main compartment, make a little slit here so this accesses into the laptop sleeve, more like a traditional travel backpack. Now comparing the carry systems, which are very similar, a few minor updates here to show you. The biggest one being this comes in 2 sizes, 2 different harness sizes. This is the smaller version. The larger one is going to have shoulder straps a little bit wider, hip belt, and the shoulder straps are going to be a little bit longer for larger frames. And then there's an improvement to the shoulder strap padding that's really not going to show up on camera here, because on the outside they basically look almost identical. There's a pretty noticeable change to the padding that they use for the shoulder straps. The older version kind of has this really soft squishy mesh that goes all the way through. The new version, they keep that same squishy mesh, but it's a little bit thinner layer just on the outside and the backing, and they have a much denser, firmer structural material behind that. It's still soft, but it's a lot firmer, which I think is going to help give this bag a lot more structure and hold heavier weights much better. Back padding, basically the same design here, ridged foam on the top, separated padding with a lot of good air ventilation slots. One very minor change to how the hip belt is attached. Both are going to be this really thin, padless webbing strap. The old version attaches a little buckle here. You can take it out, but it's a little bit hard because you have to back it through this adjuster. The new strap design, basically the same webbing strap, same buckle. They updated the strap keeper, but it works the same. But instead of that adjuster, this thing is basically going to girth hitch through this fabric loop. So, well, the function's going to be the same. I think this is going to make it a little bit easier to kind of just quickly take this on and off the bag. Really minor change to the carry handle. This old one is kind of flat facing the back. The new version seems to be a little bit longer and it's kind of facing up a little bit more. One thing that I haven't noticed but could be an issue for some people is because this strap is a little bit longer. You can see from the side, possibly could hit you in the back of the neck, top of the shoulders, but I haven't noticed that problem. As far as packing the Ruckpack goes, it's a tall top opening bag, so I think these Matador gear cubes work really well. They're compression cubes. They open at the top, so they're really easy to get to in this orientation of bag. These things come in a set of 3. They're all the same width, and they stack up really nicely, fit in here, easy to get in and out. And 3 of these is gonna take up most of the main space on the bag, leave you extra room on top for a jacket or a toiletry bag. This is what the 30 looks like on me, fully packed. I haven't taken this on any long travel trips yet, but I've taken it on quite a few hikes so far. And very comfortable bag. I think it basically fits the same as the old model. Comfortable shoulder straps, lots of great air ventilation, padding in the back, and good adjustability with a sternum strap and a hip belt, albeit thin if you need to take a little bit of weight off your shoulders. So that's all I have for the update on the REI Ruckpack 30. Again, this bag is 30% off at REI through the weekend. If you liked this review and found it helpful, please use the link in the description below and let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. And again, thanks for watching.